I know we've talked about. Look at that. It's a little toy. I know we've talked about doing a toy type show for a while, and then uh, COVID hits, but we're here. We're starting. If people don't know, I'm Austin. With me, my pal, my family, partner, Ashley, Mr. Ashley Wilbanks, and a little surprise who's also a life partner of mine, my family, my lover, my best everything. I think he's dead though. That's why we. Oh, there he is.
I was waiting for you to say my name.
Ray.
Why?
I thought you were gonna come. I thought you were gonna come on and be like, "I'm Ray," or something. I don't know, but no. Ray. And I don't know if it's implied or not. We like toys, action figures, collectibles, whatever you want to call it. It's toys. We loved them as children. We love them as adults.
Action figures.
So, yeah.
I don't
So, and he's not even showing half of it. He's probably not even showing a quarter of it. It's like just a section, just a fragment of the room. But yeah. But I don't know. We just wanted. I felt like we should keep it loose and chill and started off with maybe like happy memories from when you were children of like your first toys. What was your I can remember my first toy. I can actually remember my first toy that I remember playing with and keeping and all that was a Superman figure. I don't know what year because apparently there were two different releases, but it's the same. It was the same figure, just a re-release. But I think it 84 or 85, and then there's one in 87 or 88 of Superman. What were they called? The superpowers.
So yeah, so Austin, really, the superpowers.
I know I'm opening it up for the guru here.
No, and then Toy Biz that's not really a re-release. It's actually a different sculpt, but it's very similar. And the way you can tell is if you turn them upside down, superpowers have holes in the bottom of their feet for pegs. Toy Biz don't. Yeah.
Okay. I think mine had holes. I think.
Yeah. So you probably had the superpowers.
Okay.
You probably had the superpowers.
Because it came with the green ring. It came with the Green Lantern ring.
No, that.
So then that was the other one.
I don't even
Whichever
remember.
One had they came with rings. I want to say that maybe all the figures came with different rings. I just remember he came with a green ring, a kryptonite ring. Maybe not a Green Lantern ring. There's a kryptonite ring or something like that.
I think you're just lying.
Yes.
I could look it up and present it to you.
I think you're lying too.
You just have to wait on it to be invented. But anyway, yeah, it was like I think I think probably mine was the re-release in like 87 or 88. But I remember having it as a kid. Just took it everywhere. Loved. I think that maybe that and the movie, the first Superman movie, for whatever reason, locked me into the whole thing about he has to have the yellow shield on his cape. He has to have it because even on the toy, on the figure, the red cape had the yellow shield, and even as a kid, it just blew my mind. It was that little minute detail. I don't know. It was just something about it was great. Blew my mind. Loved it. Took that thing everywhere. And then I just remember bouncing off of that onto like Batman and Ninja Turtles, and Ghostbusters was like the first loves of my life. I would say, yeah, like probably because I think Ghostbusters came first and then Ninja Turtles, but they all kind of, that and Batman all just kind of went all at the same time. And that would be my intro to it.
Me?
Is somebody gonna talk? Huh?
Yes, I'm pointing down.
I'm sorry. Here. We'll go like boop 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 like that. How about that? Listen, I've got to learn camera etiquette too. So anyway, Ashley.
Am I pointing down at Ashley?
Yeah, Ray is below me, so I'm pointing down.
Oh,
I'm pointing at you.
Fair enough. I don't know. I'm guessing mine will be recorded. Ray is on the top with me, and Ashley's on my bottom. He's my bottom.
So Ray is there.
Up.
Ray. You can go. I'll go second. I'll go last.
I don't really have too big of a memory of what my favorite or first toy would have been, because it's either one of two. It was either one of the four Ninja Turtles, and this was the the old series with the wide eyes, and then they were always gritting their teeth. Like it was either one of the yeah, or it was one of the Batman figures with the gold card back. The gold.
Yep.
Oh God, I think it came out around the time of the movie.
It was you're talking about the first Batman movie though, right? Because it was the gold back Batman.
Yeah.
It was like there was only a few things released, right? It was like the first. It was like the little bit they were able to put out when after the movie came out.
Because I remember the main thing about him was his belt came off, like as in like it had a string attached to it to be like a grapple hook.
Yeah.
So it was either Ninja Turtles or it was him.
Let me put a disclaimer right now on this video podcast, whatever. The disclaimer is there may be things we will say that are not accurate. I acknowledge that I am an ignorant person. Yes, I will acknowledge that I don't know everything, and I'm sure I will say a lot of inaccurate little minute things probably. I hate misinformation, so please, if y'all catch me anything, you catch me, people, whoever's going to listen to this, if anybody listens to this and you catch anything, I don't mind corrections. That's totally fine, but keep it sweet and keep it nice. But anyways, what you had, Ray, was the first Batman movie line that came out. They didn't even get to put out that many figures. There was a Batman, a Joker, a Bob.
If I remember correctly, the Joker had like a little squirt function, didn't he?
Yeah,
where you could actually put water into like a little
something
container
like
thing
that.
to squeeze into the bag.
Yeah,
or something like that. And it
would
squeeze water out of his little flower on his chest.
And see, I got the Batman from that. Too. Yeah, for whatever reason, I got the Batman from that, and it was like real beat up. It got real beat up as a kid, but the one I really loved was the Batman. It was like the re-release before Batman Returns. It was right before Batman Returns was coming out. See, they tried to get some Batman figures out because of I don't understand the backstory, but apparently it's kind of like a Star Wars situation where they couldn't get enough out. So there was only like those few figures, and then like the Batmobile and the Joker mobile or whatever, and that was it. And maybe in the Batwing, and you couldn't, I don't know, that was all you could find for a while, and then maybe I think it was like the following year, this is like 1990, they finally released more Batman. That's when you had like Laser Batman, and you remember all those, right, Ray? Like the grid looking chests and all that, just all the different. That's when you started having all the different Batmans coming out. So those are the ones I treasured.
But did you get the penguins that came with that line, the Batman Returns line?
Yeah, the one that didn't look anything like.
I remember like the little 2 penguin pack. One of the.
I remember little penguins. Yeah, with the rockets and all that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But so the Batman. So that was your first thing, and what about you, Ashley?
Well, so yes, I'm a little older.
You ever heard of Evel Knievel dolls?
Actually, you know what? I was fixing to say Evel Knievel. You're laughing at me, but yes, that was one of the first figures I had. Evel Knievel with the motorcycle, and you pulled him back, and he would jump. I remember that. Yes, I know. I see you. And I had Mego, Superman, the Hulk, and Spider-Man.
I see. That's really friggin' awesome.
Yes, but really, Star Wars line. I was of the age. I was born in late '76. So when Star Wars hit, that was like right there when the first figures came out, and they were supposed to come out in 77-ish, but really was it 78 or something like that?
Yeah, they couldn't get them out in time for the holidays. Yeah. So what you did was you got that promise. You bought like a card that said that you would get the figures mailed at like spring of next year. So you get it maybe February, March, April. So I think you started getting them. Yeah, like
the early bird packet is what it was.
It was
called.
the early bird packet. That's right.
Yeah. So Star Wars was really my first real action figure love. That sort of transformed into G.I. Joe when it came out in 1982, and of course then that kind of went to Transformers and He-Man, and then Superpowers, and of course Secret Wars was sprinkled in there a little bit, and Mask, and then later on, I believe, G.I. Joe really played a prominent part in that whole time frame because I had more G.I. Joe than I had of anything. And then I sort of started getting into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when they came out in the late 80s, the Playmate stuff. But at that time, I was entering high school, and the toys started taking a back seat to other things. But I was still on the sly getting toys because some of my friends would buy me toys. Like I remember my 16th birthday, I got Ninja Turtles from one of my buddies for our birthday present, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And then I just never stopped buying toys. I mean, Batman was a big thing in the early 90s, so I was buying the Kenner stuff, and the Total Justice, and I've bought and sold my fair share of toys throughout my whole life and collected, and I'm still collecting today, unfortunately, according to my wife, because he doesn't like the fact that I spend lots of money on plastic. But
so you just call it an investment, and then you're done. That's good. That's always your argument. It's an investment.
Investment, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be the truth. It just has to be. It just has to work.
Yes, it has to work, and unfortunately, lately it's not working as good as it should be working because I get in trouble quite a bit. Yes, I get in trouble, and especially now, there's so much stuff coming out. I've got so much stuff on pre-order. It's ridiculous. For McFarlane toys, yeah.
We'll have to discuss all that because that's an interesting thing. Like we could bring up, talk about our pre-orders, whatever we've got coming up that we're interested in.
So I mean, if you want to look at my pre-orders, it's basically everything DC Multiverse from McFarlane that he's put out so far. And I mean, I've caught up to everything but the Dark Knight Metal 4 figures so far, but everything else is pre-ordered, just waiting to come in. Some G.I. Joe classified stuff waiting to come in. The Dungeons and Dragons figure we were talking about pre-show is waiting to come in. And so I got a lot of stuff.
I would love to have that Drizzt or Drizzt, however you say his name. I would love to have that figure. I was going to say that you're really digging the McFarlane multiverse stuff. For whatever reason, I cannot shake that release of the Batman figure, the Batman animated series figure. It's like that put a bad taste in my mouth. That was such a huge oversight still hasn't been corrected. Because I want to buy one so bad. The animated series Batman, and they have the wrong belt on it. They have they have the final season belt, the one with the pouches, the one that had the buckled pouches. They have that belt on him, but with the original costume. And I'm like, you're almost there, but like, but
I remember
I can't buy it.
We were in the Think Geek store, and you were explaining to me how wrong it was, and I remember when it was happening, my eyes were just glazing over.
You just didn't even care? God, I thought people would care more.
So
I'm just as much of a hypocrite because I mean, you saw me I remember telling you about that Kit Fisto figure that I'd gotten. The small little things that were just like it was. It seemed like I think if I read correctly, they reused an Obi-Wan hilt, and I think they reused an Obi-Wan sculpt of his chest instead of Kit Fisto because I think people pointed out he has a high collar, but this figure doesn't.
I will say in your defense, I don't know if he's ever going to come back around in figure form. You know how rare he is. So I could understand gravitas. The thing I would love to get would be the Batman animated series. Who owned it before? That had all the great figures and was released, and even they had the big Batmobile and all that.
So that was DC Direct.
DC Direct.
DC Direct, yeah.
Those were fantastic. About the Batmobile where the little bat plane came out the back, like it slid out the back. Are you talking about that one?
No, I'm talking about the animated series Batmobile.
Yeah. I had an animated series Batmobile where.
If you're talking about the original toy. You're talking about the original toy. I'm just talking about the re-release, the new stuff.
I thought you were trying to refer back to you liked those. Okay.
No, but that's a good point.
Ooh.
Those. No. I was going to say that's a good point. The the kid that was Kenner. Yeah, he looks pretty good.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
that's the DC
I like
Direct
that.
stuff right there. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
I dig the
Yeah.
collar design. Yeah, because is that
See,
a high
they
collar on
look
him or
great.
something?
Now, see, that's the final season Batman animated series style
Yeah.
because he's got that was when they kind of changed up the animation and all that stuff.
Does he look good?
Oh, he looks great. Looks amazing.
Look at that face.
That's his back.
Oh, my bad. No, I'm just playing.
I was like, what?
Welcome to the internet.
Welcome. No, but really, the Kenner line, like, wait a minute, we didn't talk about Ray, your pre-order.
I don't have any pre-orders right now. My last
Nothing.
one was
Well, you had something new. Yeah, you tell us about your new stuff.
that in terms of figures or anything.
Anything?
Both.
Yeah.
Both, because I know you got one big news. You can give us that, and and whatever else you got.
I'll actually show it to you.
Go ahead.
In 1 second.
Yeah, I like the video. I like the video aspect of this because we can just get up and
look.
grab
I
something,
say embrace it. People can say it's sloppy. Embrace it. Embrace it. Look at
I
him,
like it.
Brian Johnson.
Brian Johnson.
Oh, yeah, I love that. I told him I was like when I got that, I thought of Brian Johnson with that hat. It looks great. He rocks it really well.
What about my hat? Is it terrible?
Oh, we're talking about how I think it's great. I think he thinks it's great too.
Yep.
I did pre-order Zeb though, because you remember I told you about that from Rebels. So I pre-ordered him. I love that figure. That one's set up in the other room, my wife's room.
Yep, I've still got to get him.
This is the big one of something that I've gotten recently. Is I have the whole Razor Crest Lego.
That is nice.
I put a pre-order in Lego.com
put it back up
like
there.
the day it was announced.
Put them on the glass.
Actually,
yeah.
Now
see that's cool.
That is the way.
Little Biota, little baby, little Biota is what I call him.
Kind of got the whole cast in there because there's so you can see I actually ordered her separately beforehand, Cara Dune. Because she didn't come with that set.
So she's just by herself? You can buy a minifigure of her by herself?
eBay.
Okay.
I just found someone who was selling the minifigure by itself, and
how was she? But like, where did she come from originally? Then
she came from that Mandalorian set where it was the ATST. Remember the one that the those pirates had?
Okay.
That was all that they'd done for the Mandalorian to promote it was that set, and it came with the Mandalorian and her and I think two of the pirates or whatever they were. And then you can see in the back, you got Grief and kind of far back. I don't know if you can see him, but there's IG-11.
Oh yeah, I can see him. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, and coolest part right here slides out, and you got your little carbonite.
That's cool. Yep. That's really cool.
Yeah,
it is cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of this one. And apparently, I didn't know that. I meant to ask Austin about this a long time back. Apparently, this is something that they've talked about. They've started showing, but hasn't been used in the show. Is up the top. Apparently, this is some kind of a escape pod or drop shuttle. I don't know how it's been going to be used in the show, but
I think it's an escape pod.
Yeah, it was something that people I've noticed that like kind of brought up. Is like, oh, are they going to use that now in the show?
I think they are, because I don't know if you go to HasbroPulse.com, the latest HasLab thing is a vintage collection.
Oh yeah, and it shows that it comes out. Yeah,
for $350, and that thing, it does come out, and they called it escape pod, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Being that they made it loose and part of it, it made me wonder if they're gonna, like maybe it's gonna come into use in the story at some point in the show, like the new season, maybe.
Yeah, I think it will. I mean, if you look at the brand new trailer, I mean, the very first clip is the Razor Crest kind of floating through space and looks like it's sparking, like it's
the back's hanging open. Yeah, it's not in good shape.
Yep. So it makes you wonder if something like that happened.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I've really gotten very recently. But yeah.
I was going to say I have pre-ordered. I mean, I don't think I really have anything pre-ordered. I know I I'll pick up stuff whenever I see it if I'm ever out. We don't go out too often, but every
Mhm.
once in a while, if I pop up into a Walmart or something, I always like to run by the toy aisle and just see if there's anything out. Because I feel like it's got to be a wasteland out there, and it pretty much is. But sometimes I find little goodies like I found some Ghostbusters re-release stuff. Um,
Dude, it's a scalpers. Can't talk scalpers world right now
Oh yeah.
because if you go into you have to know exactly when that new stuff comes in because they're going to
Mm.
go grab it and sell the crap out of it on eBay for double or triple.
I mean, case in point, right now, I'd say like one that I would like to try to get at a decent price, but I'm just gonna kind of end up waiting. Is I'd like to get the Beskar Armor Mandalorian,
Yep.
and that one's supposed to be coming out anytime now. But I think actually right now there's a decent price on Amazon. I think it's like 30, but it's a
Ooh.
pre-order for the 15th.
Yeah.
But
I've
yeah.
seen some YouTube videos of people doing like toy hunts and stuff, and he's already in Walmart.
Oh,
That
that's
whole
cool.
that whole wave, yeah, has been and those Walmarts that they were in because they picked him up.
Mm.
So
Well, here's hoping I can grab
yeah, good luck. Good luck.
I'll keep a lookout because I do look around, and sometimes like I know there's a Walmart on 80 that like going towards Tybee, and they'll get some crazy. That's where I found my Dooku figure, and I haven't seen him anywhere else. So
Really, I forgot you
yeah,
got. Yeah.
yeah, I got the Dooku figure. I want to get. I wish I would cool to find a Kit Fisto at some point. If
Yeah,
they
my
ever do like
wife's
a wider release.
yeah, my wife got that for me as a surprise, and she told Austin about it. Like that's sneaky sneak. You know, she told him that, like bragging that she got it. I don't know how that went down, but yeah, she still will not tell me how much she paid for it. I don't know how much.
No idea.
I know the
I
prices that I
imagine
saw.
higher than it's. I imagine it's higher than what you would normally pay for it. But
But yeah, I imagine so. Because I mean, like I would look at some of
okay,
them still, like right after I found that I'd gotten it, I went and looked, and like some of the prices were still in the
it's like
50s.
$5,000. I was like, oh my god, I hope she didn't spend that. No, but
So so
I
that's a
do want to.
high dollar figure now.
Apparently, like that one, I'd say it is. I mean, I could look up how much it is right now, but yeah, that was a high one, at least right when it came out, unless it's
Hmm.
dropped since then.
Hmm.
Because my guess was I talked with Austin about it. It was my assumption was that they didn't make too many because I guess they assumed that it's not gonna.
Yeah.
He's a smaller character. He's not a main character, so they probably didn't make as many. I mean, they did reuse some sculpts for him. They obviously didn't put as much money as they did in the others.
Yeah, they I regret like I was hoping I'd run into him at some point and I regret not grabbing Cara Dune when I was out and about. I'd seen her like I
Yeah,
think at
I
least
got lucky
once.
finding her. Yeah, I found her at a GameStop.
Yeah, that's where I found her was a
Yeah,
GameStop, and I'm like, I'll come back and get her. I was trying not to spend money that day. I'm like, I'll just come back and get it, and that's how it always happens. I'll go back and nope, it's not there. But
we
no,
were
I
at that.
mean,
Well, remember we were at that GameStop one time. This was way back when was this December when you, me, Brittany, and Candy were at that the
it was.
GameStop in Pooler,
I think it
and
was before. It was before December because I think it was
it was
before Mandalorian came out.
what? Yeah, it was. Yeah,
It was
we
right
found
before Disney Plus
yeah,
and all that dropped, and we found that in
yeah.
the GameStop.
There was
Yeah.
one Mando figure, and I was like, I was naive at the time, and I was thinking, oh, I'll just be nice. I gave it to Austin. Austin, because he'd been wanting it. He like grabbed his, I was just thinking to myself, yeah, I'll find the next one. Then never found the next one. eBay gave me the next
Oh, I was
When
gonna
he
say you
told
never
me
got.
that, when he told me that he was actually wanting one, and then had given me that one, I was like,
one. Like I
I
said, I was
felt
very
like,
naive in that moment.
I felt like,
I didn't understand how popular that figure was going to be.
Yeah.
to be honest, I didn't either. I thought they would
Yeah.
put a bunch of them out because, like, I mean, he's obviously going to be like everybody's going to want him.
Hmm.
I don't know. I guess they were testing the waters. Just like they didn't have anything else until way later. We get Baby Yoda the following year. Which is great. I love how tiny the little Baby Yoda Black Series is.
So
But
not as bad now. So Kit Fisto the highest price I'm seeing on eBay, at least, is about $36.95 is the highest price I'm seeing anyone
Oh,
selling
okay.
it.
Well, that's
So
not too bad.
it's
It's
gone
good.
down.
So, but yeah, I even saw they've got the Jar Jar Binks figure coming up. And I'm
Yeah.
actually kind of like, it
Wanting to
looks
get it.
good.
Yeah, it looks good. I mean,
It does look
I
good.
saw.
It's
Yeah.
just like the Zeb figure. I'm like, Zeb looks
Zeb's great.
fantastic, and you've got him. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus, it looks
But
fantastic. I want that. They need to make a crate Luke, like a crate version of Luke from
oh
Last
yeah,
Jedi
yeah. You
Black
and me have been
Series.
like talking about that for like ever since it came. Like that was just like a great, just like a design for how he looked as a
Perfect.
prime Jedi look. And I don't
It's
know why
perfect.
they're holding off on doing that because that obviously would sell like hotcakes. I think a lot more so than I think the white robed one.
It will, yeah, and I even love that one. I bought up
Yeah,
a couple of them.
but I mean, like,
but
is in like because that the whole idea with that one was much more kind of mystical, ceremonial. With that crate look, you
uh,
get more of like how he looked when he was that prime.
prime action, like
Yeah,
yeah,
stage.
Hmm.
sure, yeah, for sure. No, but yeah, like stuff like that, I tend to try. I mean, I used to try to pre-order. I've been trying to wean myself off of it because I'm telling you, I spend so much money on toys. You can see like you every time I go to a store, you'd find something new. Like I found the Power Rangers morphers. Or morpher, but it has like all the coins. Had to buy that. You find like the Ghostbusters re-release. Oh, got to pick that up. You know, and then find this got this little crafty fella.
Oh,
It's
what is that?
it's a it is a I
No,
think it's a bucket.
no,
I think
no,
you put
no,
churros or pretzels in here. I got this
Oh.
at Disney's. I got this at Disney Springs.
no.
uh,
Man, you just like grab a big old barrel of those cheese puffs, just pour them into there.
I was
You
sitting there
can
thinking
walk
about
down.
it. But
You can walk down the street, just randomly, just pull out a handful of cheese puffs.
wow.
the
They
thing,
went
the thing
all.
actually, yeah, the thing actually has working lights on it.
I was gonna say they went all in on that French fry holder, didn't they?
Right, right. I was like, this looks so ridiculous. I have to have it because just wearing it like you just wear it like a purse. You just look at this. Uh, and look, you just get yeah. Hi. Like you just
That's
oh look, I just have my sonic screwdriver in here. Like, hi.
are you proud of yourself? Are you proud of that buy?
Man, it's like the best guilty buy ever. This is like when a woman buys Prada or something like that because she knows she spent money on garbage, but dadgummit, it looks good.
So how much did that cost you?
20 bucks.
That's not bad. And it came popcorn or something.
Well, no, it was like it came with either a churro or a pretzel, and
Mm.
I
I
was
thought
like,
I thought he was
I
about
was
to
like,
just say no. You had to buy it separately from the snacks. I was about to say that's pure Disney right there.
no, but what's weird though is they just kept this in the plastic and just gave it to me like that, and then just gave me the churro separate. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like I guess they were like, he looks like a collector. He doesn't want to
Yeah.
put food in that. So like they just totally gave me the thing still in the plastic.
Was it
But
was it a regular churro?
yeah, they didn't have. That's all they
Uh,
had.
Hmm.
I
What
remember
do you mean?
like
What do you mean by
well, I
regular?
remember last year. God, was it that long ago? We went to, me and Brittany went to Disney last year.
Hmm.
Before everything had gotten open in Galaxy's Edge, but we got they made pumpkin pumpkin pie churros. They had like a pumpkin
Mm.
pie flavored
Mm.
filling. Oh my god!
I didn't see one there, but if they did, I probably wouldn't have got it. I'm not
Yeah.
a big pumpkin thing, like the fall flavor stuff.
Mhm.
Usually, I'm not. Some stuff I'll try. Like it's usually I don't go for it, but if somebody goes here, try it, I'll try it, and sometimes it's
Yeah.
great, sometimes it's
Yeah, that was
not.
kind of what we had done because she was kind of hesitant on the flavor. So, I grabbed one because I wanted to experiment and she got a regular one. Then she tasted mine and then she took mine. So that's how
Don't
that
go.
Guess
You
what
don't.
they do have at Disney Springs though? They didn't have this before. Dole Whip, and they had
actually
the
is.
What is
Dole Whip
that?
floats
What
too.
is that? Everybody talks about how good this stuff
Oh,
is.
Oh
it's
my
like
god.
it's just pineapple flavored soft serve ice
Yeah,
cream, and
but
but it
it's
used to
so
be.
good.
I didn't know this, but years ago, I found out that it was like this exclusive thing that you could only get it at Magic Kingdom at a certain. It was like it's like a stand like near the. I want to say it's like
It's in
near
like the
Adventureland and all
yeah,
that.
it's in the Adventureland area.
Yeah, yeah. So, and it's like this one place where you could get it, and it's just this great, and you could get it by itself or get it. Like the great way is to get it as a float, and they put it in
Yeah,
this like special cup where they put
mhm.
it with pineapple juice.
Yeah,
So you
some
have
Dole
vanilla,
pineapple. Yeah.
you have Dole pineapple juice with pineapple soft serve, and think about it when you after a hot day, you have that. It's the best.
That
Anytime
was
it's the best, but
yeah. That was my favorite way to get it. Brittany, like she did not like she was more a fan of just the pure soft serve. I love the float though. The float was
yeah.
magnificent
The
because I
float,
love
the float is like the cherry on the
yeah
icing
yeah
because yeah, it's perfect by itself. But man, put it in a float, it's like
because I'll finish a soft serve and then it's like finishing a popsicle afterwards because you get that tasty pineapple juice at the bottom. Oh,
Mm.
mm.
and this is that soft serve life.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I don't.
You remember
I'm one
Pudding
of
Pops?
I'm one of those people that I have to eat my ice cream really fast because I don't like it to melt. I
Yeah,
don't
me
like
either. Me
melty,
either. Me either.
and that
And
just
I eat
seems
the
all
melty parts
melty the
first.
way you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Well,
No,
no,
no.
if you
What I
get
mean
it
is like
quick, but
I get through the soft serve on the top of it, and since it's a float, it's on the top of this pineapple juice. That's what I mean. Is I'm like I get through
Ah,
the soft serve, and then I have this pineapple juice like waiting afterwards. It's like an extra treat. That's what I was referring to.
I got you. Hmm.
really good.
Well,
It's really good. But let me ask you this: the like talking about all these different toys and stuff growing up. Can y'all think of like your favorite toy line overall? Because I feel like I've like thinking back when I look at all the different stuff, I feel like Kenner was probably one of my favorite toy line. Like they just like Kenner and Playmates put out some really good stuff for some reason because they had for Playmates they had the Star Trek toys and they had Turtles. Even though when I was growing up I didn't collect the Star Trek toys, didn't play with them. I just thought they looked good and I thought they were impressive. But I love Turtles figures, even though they started getting wonky and crazy with everything. They did put out some great stuff. I mean, there was not so great stuff like Dick Tracy, but then you have Kenner putting out all these movie tie-ins, which I was biased and I loved. And then you have like the Star Wars toys and all that. I mean, to me, Kenner could do no wrong. And then they had the Batman stuff. I just loved their sculpts. I just loved how they made their toys.
so you're saying toy line or toy company?
Company, if that maybe that, yeah,
Get it
company, not
right.
toy line like Star Wars or I mean like
Yeah.
toy company, like toy. That's what I mean. Yeah. So
Uh, well, I'll go. I mean, for me, it's hard. It's a flip of the coin between Kenner and Hasbro, right? Hasbro had GI Joe. They had
It's fantastic.
Transformers. And now actually, and now Hasbro actually owns Kenner. So they bought Kenner back in the mid '90s or whatever.
right.
So I mean, they're one in the same company. So I guess you could say a Kenner Hasbro merger. I don't know because I do love. I mean, Kenner did make the first toys that I actually loved in the Star Wars line, and then like I said, they had Mask, and Mask was a huge deal, and then the superpowers. Like I really really loved superpowers line. I mean, I played with the superpower stuff even after they stopped making it, and I would actually go yard sales trying to find even more, to fill in the holes that I didn't have just because that line really spoke to me. And I guess because I was reading comics and stuff like that, and I really, that
They
was
were really
during.
well made toys, though. They were
They
well made
were, they
action
were,
figures. I,
yeah.
I, I was biased. I love those. I just love. It didn't have to be superposable. I just love those kinds of action figures. Yeah, I actually just bought.
Squeeze my
It's
leg.
funny. It's very random, but I actually just found at a toy. It was like a small toy shop in outskirts of Orlando. Um, he had like a Last Action Hero figure. It was Benedict, like the guy with the evil eye, the bad guy.
Hmm.
I think it was
Charles
Benedict.
Dance.
Yeah, yeah. They had his figure, and I was like, gotta have
Really.
it. So I bought it. Yeah, I was
Was
this close to buying a Beetlejuice set too, but I was like, I can't drop 50. But it was like this Beetle. I don't know if you remember, but Beetlejuice. And I think Kenner. It might have been
Kenner.
Kenner
It
that
was
did
Kenner. It
Beetlejuice.
was Kenner. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I mean, I love Beetlejuice. I found my Beetlejuice figure and I've got it in the living room for Halloween. But they had this set where it was like his gravesite, his coffin, and you could put like a normal size figure in it, like a big size figure, close it, open it, and it's a little miniature version of Beetlejuice. And for whatever reason, when I was a kid, I wanted that set so bad. And I've never seen it in person, and that was my first time actually seeing it live in person, still in the box, and I couldn't pull the trigger on it. It was $50. I'm like, can't do it because we had spent too much. We had already spent too much money anyway, so I couldn't pull the trigger.
And that was in Orlando. That's when you went to Disney World.
Yeah, I didn't go to Disney World. I went to Disney Springs.
Is that when you went to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and had a good time?
No, I went. That was last year.
Oh yeah, I hadn't been yet. It's great.
I don't know if I have a favorite toy company. I mean, I guess it does Lego count. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I tend to stick like I tend to really dig their stuff. I mean, I don't I don't tend to spend too much. Like I'm picky on what I grab. Like I guess because space issue. I'm trying to work with the space that I have right now. So I say I save my purchases for stuff I'm really looking forward to getting. And so like the Razor Crest was a must have, and Kit Fisto, Mando, those are ones that I had to have somehow. But so I guess Lego. Like if you see over there, I've kind of got just pure Lego stuff over there. I've
So
got
you would say,
2,000.
like, since you were a kid, Lego was like the number one.
Oh no, not since I was a kid, but it kind of started out. I would say what got me back into Lego actually was South Park. Because there was that. You remember the documentary called 6 Days to Air?
Yeah.
I remember watching that, and Trey Parker during that week, he all of a sudden like came into the office and he had a big AT-AT Lego set. Like he got it in the box and he brought it in, and he was like starting to put it together. And the documentary people were filming, and he was saying like he does that as a way of kind of self therapy for himself in terms of the creative process, because he says it's refreshing for him to not have to give orders. He just follows orders from something else.
Yeah.
And so I kind of like took on that idea because I was in the middle of college, and college will stress you out. So all of a sudden, I finally got, I think my first one I grabbed was a Harry Potter. Yeah, it was Harry Potter Hagrid's Hut. I grabbed that, and that was kind of where it started, because it was really kind of refreshing just to sit there quiet, nothing really going on, just going through this process of putting this together it was very kind of soothing. And so that's kind of where I just kind of dropped into it, and I've been stuck with Lego stuff ever since.
So do you still have that Harry Potter set?
It's back at my parents' house, but yeah, but it's still there. I can we're actually like
He's like, I can go there. I could take pictures of it right now if you need proof.
I will show it to you.
He's like, I don't feel comfortable being attacked on camera. I have integrity, and I'll drive there right now. I'm taking my camera with me. No,
yeah,
but
I still have all the sets from when I restarted that. So like, I mean, not with me, but I have, I've never gotten rid of or sold anything since I started back with it. It's just in a different location.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I wish I had some of the stuff that I had growing up, because, God, man, my mom used to just chunk stuff. When I would move away from like Star Wars, I didn't like it anymore, and I was into GI Joe or whatever. It's like all the Star Wars stuff gone.
Yeah, my mom told me that she had, like, before me, my brother had a lot of old Star Wars stuff, and apparently he gave it all away or threw it all away and stuff before I came along. And I mean, obviously, I wouldn't have cared until a little bit later, but hearing that now, I'm like, And even me, like, I don't have a lot of the stuff that I had when I was a kid. I've had to repurchase. I mean, I'll do it. Sometimes I'll see stuff that I had when I was a kid and lost it, or or it was broken, or I always wanted it and never could get it. And so I'm like, I'm an adult, I can afford this now. And so no, I'll rebuy it, or I'll kind of find. Sometimes mom will be like, oh, I found this box of stuff, and it'll be some old figures of mine. I mean, yeah. So
That's what I like doing now is going back, like trying to put together stuff, buying stuff that I used to have that I can
Mm.
remember.
Yep.
So I've actually, in the past couple of years, bought a bunch of old Star Wars stuff, the vintage stuff, a bunch of old GI Joe, um, superpowers. I'm slowly building up the collection of everything that I used to have. So, and I found some of my Masters of the Universe figures in a box not too long ago. They don't look that good, but you know, and they need a little work. So I had to go do research on how to replace like the rubber bands that hold their legs to their torsos.
Mm.
So I went and bought a bunch of stuff, and now I'm
Is it
like the
like the
toy
rubber bands
doctor.
they put in braces?
Nah, it's something thick. It's thicker than that.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. But
but
no,
I feel like the toy doctor now because I'm taking stuff apart and piecing it back together, trying to make it work.
no,
That
the
could be a whole episode by itself, like toy anatomy.
Yeah,
pretty
really, it
much.
could. It
Yeah, I
could.
remember being so shocked to find it was one of those similar type sculpts where if you pull on it enough, you can see the like rubber band holding the torso onto the
Hmm.
lower section.
Like
I remember
GI
being
Joes
shocked,
and
like,
stuff.
yeah, it's like what rubber bands? That's
Yep, rubber bands, O-rings.
yeah, no.
They're called O-rings. Yep, and I've been replacing a bunch of those too. So I've got a bag of O-rings and bag of screws, and
It was Mortal Kombat figures. That's what I remember them seeing them in for me. Like, because
Yeah.
there was a line of Mortal Kombat figures right when the game was getting popular, so they were all in those
Mm-hmm.
little like multi-posable types.
Yep.
Yeah, I
They
remember
had
like I had one.
Street
I think it
Fighter did
was
that too.
yeah.
Street Fighter did that too. The Street Fighter had a big line of the GI Joe style figures,
they
and
were actually under the GI Joe brand.
were they okay? I
Yeah.
was going to say, and what's funny is speaking of that, at this toy store I went to recently, they had not the doll, not the figure. They had like a doll of the figure. It was like a doll sized GI Joe of Guile from Street Fighter. I'm like, I want to buy this Van Damme doll right now. And I was so close, but again, couldn't pull the trigger. It was like,
Did they ever make a Bison figure from that movie?
yeah, but it didn't look like him in the movie. It was like more like video game style. They only really used Jean Claude Van Damme's likeness for Guile for the figures. It's really weird. The rest of them are all like generic, and they look like Street Fighter 2 style. So it's just kind of odd that they did that.
I
But
mean, well,
anyway,
if I remember correctly, there was a lot of the tie-in stuff. It feels like they didn't put in too much effort when it came to that movie. Like I remember the game was really not that great. Like this Street Fighter, the movie, the game, the movie.
yeah, no, yeah, for sure. Now, there's a documentary on YouTube you can watch on it. It's actually really good. I'll tell you, the behind the scenes of it is way more interesting than the actual game itself. It's actually really cool, but it's also more combat style. It's really weird.
So what's the
But
YouTube documentary?
I can't remember if it was Yesterworld or maybe it was no, it wasn't. It was the Video Game Historian, I think, is the YouTube
Oh yeah,
channel.
I'm subscribed to him. I haven't watched enough stuff from him though. I think
I'll
I've
send
watched.
you a link. Yeah, I'll send you a
Yeah.
link. But yeah, I think I think we could call it there, and maybe we can circle back around next week and talk about like I don't know, maybe we could talk about, like you said, anatomy of figures.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we could talk about, maybe we could discuss more like new figures that are upcoming or maybe it'll spark some of our interest to talk about maybe
Do a show and
potentially
tell.
buying this stuff and do show and tell. We'll comment if this looks crap. Does this look good? You could critique new stuff you've bought.
Oh,
I
here
think
we
the
go.
possibilities are endless.
We do the jealousy game. We each present something and then see who's most jealous of the other two.
Oh,
That's
You
pretty
have to
cool.
have the Scribble Knot Superman.
what style was that? Was that like Justice
Scribble
League style?
knots.
Yeah, the Scribble
Uh,
Knots game.
You never heard of
Video
scribble
game.
knots?
yeah. I've heard of it. It was
Yeah.
like the original when it came out, and you could scribble whatever, and it
Yeah,
would create it and all that. Yeah.
yeah, they made a specific like Justice League because I think Warner Brothers owns it now or owns the company,
Uh huh.
and so they made a specific one that was all about DC superheroes, DC universe.
Yep. And you got these blind packs of these figures that you could just open and
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
Red Superman.
Yep.
Like that. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up for this week, guys. And thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm Austin.
I'm Big Boy Ray.
Big Boy Ray.
I'm Ashley.
See you next
Peace out,
time.
guys.
Peace.
Ah!